music playing in the background.
What kind of music?
Just like ambiance music.
It's already started.
You start.
Yeah, I did. Refresh it. Hello. Can I name it? Wait, come here. Yes. Who else am I talking to? Come here.
It's like the lady on my phone. What? Can you like mute yourself?
Hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our open mic night. We'll be starting in a few minutes. Just waiting for some people to come in. Hi. Yes, this is our open mic night event. We'll be having a highlighted performer come, an Afrofusion artist from New York. Hi everyone. So if you would like to join our open mic, always feel free. You can type in the chat or request to join if you have anything to share. It could be, you could recite a poem that you like, you could sing a poem, or you could sing a song that you have, write a poem you made, anything like that. Anything creative is welcome. Thank you, Carly. We're just waiting right now for more people to come in. This is our open mic night if you have anything to share. And so our highlighted performer, Agyakomah, will be coming in today. So we'll be kind of interviewing her a little bit, getting to know her a little more, and in between that, she'll be performing some songs for us. So very excited about that. And again, if you have anything to share, please request to join the live and I can put you on and you can perform. Or if anybody would like to just talk about anything, how's everyone doing? I know it's midterm season, so It's a hectic time right now, but we can just kind of chat as well. Hello. So hi guys, this is our open mic. We're just waiting on some more people to come in and for our highlighted performer to come in, and then we'll start. Hi Ashley. Yes, anyone favorite poets? I've been trying to get more into poetry lately, but I recently read a book by Toni Morrison. I know she's not necessarily a poet, but I like that. Yeah, it's hard. You kind of have to get into poetry. Like, you really have to read books and stuff. I used to not like poetry because it was like just all like old white people that I learned in school. But then once you kind of really get into poetry that you like, then you kind of have your own niche that you find and you like. Yes, Nikki Giovanni, definitely. All right, so we just had our highlighted performer join. So let's see, I'll request her to join.
Hey
Hi,
girl.
how are you
Hello.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. Um, so do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was just reading the comments. I think I missed what you guys were talking about. But
Yeah, we were just asking
mhm. No, you go
who
ahead.
everyone's favorite poets are.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I don't read too much poetry, and this may sound I feel like it sounds so cliche, but someone said it. I feel like I remember in high school reading a lot of Maya Angelou. I think it might have been part of like the
Yeah,
course, like the English course study in terms of like
okay.
poetry. But yeah. Well, yeah, sorry, I was reading the comments. Hello, people. My name is Agyakomah. I'm an Afrofusion artist, singer, songwriter, performer from New York. And today I'm just going to chop it up with you guys. We're going to chit chat,
Yes.
talk about a bunch of things. I'm going to sing a couple songs. I'm going to sing my latest single. And yeah, you're just going to get to know me a little bit better. Um, I'm just gonna grab my hand fan right now. I don't want to be a diva, but like I'm like sweating right now. It might be nervousness. 1 second.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Um, so yeah, I think we've all kind of figured out that like poetry can be difficult if you're not really a writer, but it's nice once you find your favorite authors and things like that. Um, but once you get your fan set up, I'm going to start asking you some
Oh, I'm ready.
questions.
I'm ready to
Okay.
go.
So I'm just going to ask, how are you doing today? How's today been? How's this week been for you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Very busy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, been busy doing so many different things. Like, I mean, between working and a lot of music related stuff, like promoting my latest single, a lot of answering emails, a lot of meetings, phone calls, but all in all, it's better to be busy than not busy. It's what I always tell myself, especially when it's something you love. So it's been
Yes.
busy, but very good. How about you?
That's good. Yeah, my week has been okay. Definitely getting a little hectic. Midterm season's coming on, so
Ooh, I'm so
getting
glad I
projects
passed that stage in
in.
my life.
Yeah, projects and stuff are piling on, but it's okay. We're still living, breathing, healthy, so
what
that's all that matters.
What's your major?
Fashion business management.
Ooh, nice. I love that. What made you want to go into that?
Well, I wanted to learn more about it. I knew that because the way FIT is, you kind of like you can switch your major once you get your bachelor's.
Hmm.
Um, so I wanted to learn the general fashion business buying sense of it, and then I knew that I would want to change for the bachelor's, but I just wanted to kind of get an overview because this major kind of teaches you a little bit of everything about the fashion business side. So I was into that.
That's nice. Yeah, from what I understand, FIT obviously like is Fashion Institute, but like it's not only fashion majors you can have, right? You can do other.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can do a lot of other things. Yeah, not everybody here even yeah is necessarily that into fashion. You can be, but it
Yeah,
doesn't have to. What did you study in college?
I did PR, public relations.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
that's good.
I know like when I started looking for jobs when I was a senior, like a lot of the jobs would be like there was like fashion PR and like there'd be like music PR and entertainment PR, but when I started, like when I chose PR as my major, I was probably like second year. I think I was second year in college because I had went to 2 years of community college before I transferred, and I just knew I wanted to do music. I just wanted to do music, but my parents weren't going to let me major in music, so I had to
Yeah.
figure out like how to have a find a major that was like something that could be compatible with the music or something that can help me still fall on the music path after I graduated. So that's why I ended up choosing PR, and it has really helped. It has really helped. But fashion
Yeah,
PR
definitely.
seems so like, it seems like a whole like lifestyle. It looks so cool.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have like a PR major, but we have advertising and marketing communications. So that's kind of the closest to that. And so you kind of learn stuff like that. But I feel like you get a little bit of everything to an extent in kind of every major.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I also feel like PR taught me like it obviously it's not a business major, it's communications, but I feel like it taught me like business things as well. I feel like it taught me managerial things, even though that's obviously
Yeah.
not what it was intended for. But yeah,
Right.
shout out to my college students. I always think I have such a soft spot in my heart for college students. Obviously, just being one, just graduated in 2018, so I
Okay.
always feel connected to you guys.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely difficult right now, but we're hanging in there.
Yeah,
Um,
you guys are remote, right?
yes, yes, completely.
Yeah.
We're hoping for next semester to come back, but you never know.
Please, I need to perform in front of you guys. Like, I need to perform in
Right,
front
no,
of.
we'd love to have you back, definitely.
Oh my
Um,
God, I need to so bad. I'll be so sad if I can't.
I know I was telling you about we had an open mic last year. That was really well. That went over really well. We had it in like our dining hall. We had a bunch
Hmm.
of people come. It was really fun. It was really fun. So we definitely love to do that again and maybe have you back.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, just like tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you knew you wanted to do music and how you got into it
Hmm.
growing up.
Yeah. I just always knew. I feel like when I was younger, I just always knew I really liked music. I always knew I liked singing the Disney Channel songs. I liked listening to AM 1560, Radio Disney. Like I just always liked to sing along to like the songs and perform and like I thought I was a cheetah girl. Like you couldn't tell me I was Raven Simone, Galleria, Aqua. I thought I was all of them. I was just so into like being a part of that, like music, just performing, dancing. Like I would be I would be in my downstairs and I would have like a microphone in my hand and I would just be singing like I was on stage with like the music video I was watching, full on doing the choreography with
Yes, yes.
like full fledged. And I just think over time, like obviously when you're young, excuse me, and doing it, it's kind of like you're just doing it to do it. But over time, I just felt like music was always there. Like I ended up taking the violin, right? After I think after like maybe 3 years, I stopped so I can just take chorus classes, and I just everything was music. Like it's like it's like when everywhere you turn, like you see a sign, right? Like it just keeps telling you to go in a certain direction. High school, I was taking like 3 music classes. Like I started being really active in performing and just being really active and being more intentional with my craft, like really writing a lot. And really, I feel like when I was 15, 16 is when I really kind of just felt like, yeah, like I'm comfortable with my voice. Like I'm a singer. Sometimes we don't like to claim what we are.
Yeah,
We're kind of like,
yeah.
I'm an aspiring or I'm like, I'm trying to be. I feel like
Mhm.
during that high school time, I was kind of like, yeah, like I'm the singer in our grade, I sing. So it was just I feel like everything compounded together and kind of just made me to be. I always say there wasn't too many pivotal moments that was kind of like, yes, this made me decide to pursue music. It's just looking in hindsight and seeing how my life kind of played out and realizing, oh wow, in every area of my life, everywhere I turned, music was always there. So like why
Mhm.
switch it up now?
So it sounds like you've had a lot of support from like your friends and family. No, or is that true? No?
Definitely. Okay, definitely friends for sure. Like
Mhm.
they would come out to like the open mics and the coffee houses and like any of the little performances I was doing in high school and college. Like they would come out to support. Um, so for sure, my parents, like it was hard. I think it's even now, I think it's still hard for them to understand like what do you
Mhm.
mean you're you want to do music as a career? Like now, after I graduated college, I think they relaxed a little bit, because when I graduated high school, for a split second, I told them, like, I'm not going to go to college. Like, I don't want to go to school. And I was like, my whole reasoning was that, Mariah Carey, her story is, when she finished high school, she moved into like a New York City apartment with a bunch of her girlfriends, and that's how she made it.
It's always that one success story. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, like, if she did it, I can do it too. So I told them I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to go. And then my mom looked at me like, are you crazy? Like, and that was, after that, I was kind of like, okay, I guess I'm going. And yeah, it was just, I think now, again, they've kind of relaxed now that I got my degree. I'm, I guess, stable in a sense. So now they feel like, okay, she can do what she wants. She did what she had to do. She went through school, fine. But I think slowly but surely, like, they're understanding it a bit more. Like, I'll let them listen to my songs here and there. Like, I don't love showing them my music, so I just feel like,
Really?
I'm like, you guys are, oh yeah, no. I just feel like, you guys are too old. You're not gonna understand the vibes.
I definitely understand the, like, not wanting to show your parents things, because it's just kind of like vulnerable.
Yeah.
They've
God.
known you for so long. It's like, you shouldn't know that about me.
Oh my goodness. It's so, I hate saying awkward, but it's kind of awkward because, like,
No, it is. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, my parents are Ghanaian, so like their parents first. I think sometimes there's parents who are like friends with their kids, and they can talk to you about anything, and they have that kind of relationship. But I think my parents are very parents. Like, they are the parent, I am the child. So being vulnerable in that way is kind of weird. But actually, just, I would say 2 months ago, we came back from church, and I was playing a couple of my songs to my mom. And again, very vulnerable, very weird. And I was really like breaking down the lyrics to her. And in my mind, I'm thinking, she's not going to understand what the songs are about. But I was explaining like, yeah, this song is about this, this, and this, and this song is about this. And she was kind of like floored, because, like, I don't know, I guess my mom didn't think I could be deep, but I'm deep. Like, I guess
Yeah, they kind of underestimate you sometimes.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's underestimating, or maybe just not realizing, like, wow, like, this is what she was doing, like, spending all her time on, like, this is what she's always talking about. This is why she's always screaming and singing and yelling in her room, and always talking about music. Like, this is what, like, my daughter has created. So she started crying after some time, and I was like, okay, this is awkward, because I think I'm starting to cry too. And then we're both crying, and I'm like, okay, abort mission. Like, we have to stop.
Yeah, parents have their own, like, idea of you, and so when you kind of explain it and it's not necessarily what they thought, they're like, oh, you're a whole person.
Exactly. And I think her seeing that, like, she always knew I could sing, and she was always that parent that, like, she's kind of like, oh yeah, you say you like to sing, like, sing for us at Christmas, like, sing Silent Night, like, always do, like, she was always kind of like that. I don't know, right. It just kind of, that was how she was. But yeah, I think now they're starting to get it more, and they kind of are impressed in a way with, like, my talent, I guess. Like, because again, they always knew I couldn't sing, but I think creating music, like writing songs, like, creating content, they're kind of like, and my dad is not an emotional man, like, not at all. And when he heard one of my songs, he just looked at me. He didn't even smile too much. He just looked at me. He was kind of like, he was just like, oh, this isn't bad. And I was like, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, sometimes they have to give you that little bit. They won't give you everything, but they'll give you a little bit.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, it's growing on them, I think.
That's good. Okay, so you describe your sound as Afrofusion, right?
Yes.
So how would you say your upbringing has informed your music?
It's everything, actually. It's everything, because I feel like, I always say, like, even though my parents weren't, like, I don't want to say they weren't supportive, because, like, they always believed in me, and they always knew, like, I was a bright girl, and, I had something. They always say, like, you have something special about you. But, like, even though they weren't stage parents, I feel like they helped by just, I guess, being themselves, like, oh, just playing music around the house, you know? And like, I always distinctly remember going to church on Sundays and they'd be playing like a lot of Ghanaian music, a lot of Ghanaian music, a lot of like Ghanaian gospel music and just stuff in that realm. And like, even though like I was so young and like I wasn't really paying attention to it. Now it's like when I listen to the songs, I'm like, oh wow, like this is songs you used to play, and now it kind of like it influences what I want to create now. You know, it makes me want to go back and re-listen and be like, oh, okay, how can I incorporate those songs that were part of their life into, you know, into my music and my creativity and part of my artistic identity. And on the other side, though, again, I was talking about how I was freaking a little girl listening to Radio Disney and Disney Channel and just always, you know, listening to that kind of you know, a little bit of pop. You know, I love my NSYNC. I love my Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. Don't come for me. Said what I said. But I also like heavily listen to R&B. So R&B is like my foundation in music. So, you know, Boys to Men, Mariah Carey, Jodeci, you know, Whitney, Jasmine, Brandy, like all of those. So I think I say Afrofusion just because I'm always trying to figure out like how can I fuse these different sounds together that seem like they're so different, but in reality like they're not. And I think I always say that Afrofusion to me, you know, everyone has their own definitions, but to me Afrofusion isn't just like blending the different sounds. It's also kind of like a lifestyle. I think if you're first generation whatever, no matter what, if you're first generation, you're kind of fused, you have a fusion of different cultures and lifestyles and things inside of you. So it's really exploring that. And me, it's like I want to showcase that through the actual music, the sound, but also like the storytelling. So yeah, I feel like Afrofusion is a whole thing for me.
And so maybe you can, you know, maybe perform your first song after this question, but I know a lot of artists have difficulties with putting themselves in a genre, just because they feel like their own music is like not to be confined in a box.
Yeah.
And like with Grammy categories, or
Oh my
just
God.
award show categories, it's always a thing with
Yeah.
them putting the Black artists in, you know, that urban contemporary R&B type of thing.
I
So
still don't even know what that means, to be honest. Like
right.
modern R&B, like I don't even know. Not even because it's urban, whatever that means. I don't know.
They changed urban contemporary to something.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what they changed it to.
I can't remember.
But it's not
did it recently.
So how do you feel about like your art kind of being confined into a box? Like, are you okay with that, or do you feel like we should kind of get out of genres? So,
I mean, I think in the truest artistic form, obviously there doesn't need to be genre labels. You know, like if you're creating music, you're just creating it. Like,
right.
If you're in your room and you're creating music, you're not thinking about like the industry stuff, the business stuff. You're just creating music to create music. You're not really thinking about, okay, I want this to sound like trap soul. I want this to sound trap, hip hop. Like you're just creating it. So I totally understand why people would say like, I just make music. Like I don't have any kind of genre. But for me individually, I feel like I don't mind like if people say I'm Afro fusion or, you know, I don't really care what they say because I know what I make, you know. So if they want to say, like, I don't categorize my music as Afro beats, but sometimes people say Afro beats. And obviously I'll correct them and be like, oh, it's not really Afro beats. It's more like Afro fusion. But if that's how they see it, that's how they see it. Like I can't change it. But I just feel like for me, again, because I don't just categorize Afrofusion as a sound. I categorize it as like a whole like lifestyle culture kind of thing. Like I think it's important for me to kind of say Afrofusion. It's kind of like it's similar to hip hop. I feel like hip hop is not just a sound, you know. It's of course it's a genre, but it's a whole culture within itself. So it's like, do we want other people to start claiming hip hop culture, or are you okay with saying what you do is hip hop? If you see what I'm saying. So yeah. So yeah, Afrofusion. Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
Okay, yeah. It's definitely important to like label yourself to some extent, just because groups create so much like a sense of a community.
I think so too. I honestly think so too, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm on Clubhouse a lot. I don't know if you're on that app, but
I'm not.
oh, girl, you need to get on it. You need to get on.
No, I have a Samsung. They don't have it on Android yet. I'm waiting. I've been waiting.
They're so whack for that. They're so whack. But we'll talk after it, after this live, because I'm telling you, you have to be on there. But when I'm in like the music rooms, I always hear like a lot of artists saying like, yeah, like I do everything. Like I do it all. You know, I can do every genre. You want hip hop, R&B, whatever. I do everything. And I get it, but I also feel like they shouldn't worry about saying I'm an R&B artist or I'm a pop artist. You know, you can always break out of that. You know, you can always create something different. You know, nothing is tying you to electronic music if you make a lot of electronic music today and next year you're making something else. So I don't know why it's like that.
Yeah, it can be difficult. But so are you ready to perform your first song?
Yes. Let me just hop off quickly. I'm gonna plug myself up and then I'll request to come back in.
All right.
See you guys soon.
In a minute. So hi everyone. We started by asking everybody who their favorite poets are, or if you have a favorite musical artist too. We can, kind of talk about that. I said my favorite poet or author right now is maybe Toni Morrison. I had to read a book for her, a book of hers for class, and I found it really interesting. And we've kind of been talking about poetry is a little bit difficult to kind of get into sometimes with school, but a lot of us have read Maya Angelou. So yeah, and once in a few minutes we'll have our artist come back and she'll perform her first song. And so again, if you have anything to share, please, let me know in the comments or request to join. Okay, she's back.
Beautiful. Okay, so if you're ready, I'm just gonna go ahead and start.
Go ahead.
Cool. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Everything sounds good on your end?
Yes.
Beautiful. Shout out to F.I.T. BSU for having me. Before you up and leave and somehow forget about me, I want you to know about everything you mean to me. Before you go and see your broader world, new side of things, let me tell you why it benefits you to take me. You can have a less stressful life. You can have a more peaceful night. I'm sure. But you are, 'cause I am. I can outlive any man. I am the core of who you are. So when you go, you gotta take me there. Take me. When you go, you gotta take me there. Have you ever let go of something you wish you could hold? Imagine that, and no pair of jeans, some old jewelry. Oh, I'm so much bigger than that. Don't you know? Ooh, before you go and see your broader world, new side of things, let me tell you why it benefits you to take me. You can have a less stressful life. have a more peaceful night. I'm sure, but you are, cause I am. I can't outlive any man. I am the core of who you are. So when you go, you gotta take me there. Take me, take me. When you go, you gotta take me there. This song is called Take Me There, guys. I wrote it and performed it at a festival last year. I'm the reason that you walk like that. I'm the reason that you talk like that. Before you go and see a new side of things. Let me tell you why you gotta take me. You can see the brightest city lights. You can have a less stressful life. You can have a more peaceful night. I'm sure. But you are, cause I am. I can outlive any man. I am the core of who you are. So when you go, you gotta take me there. No matter where you go, you gotta remember to take yourself, okay? When you go, you gotta take me there. When you go, you gotta take me there. When you go, you gotta take me there. Woo!
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
So hold on, before you say anything, I'm gonna unplug because I can't hear you. All right. Thank you, party people.
You have a beautiful voice. Wow, that was amazing.
Thank you. Yes. So I wrote that. It's called Take Me There. And like I mentioned last year in August, September, I was selected, thankfully, to participate in this fellowship and festival called Bacchanal d'Afrique. And pretty much the festival, amazing concept, pretty much picked like 20 or 30 African artists of the diaspora. So there was people from Kenya, Nigeria, UK, California, New York, just, people, Black people throughout the world. And from different disciplines, I should say. So some were musicians, some were artists, singers, graphic designers, and they put us all together and we had to create a piece of work based off of a theme. And the theme of the festival was transportation, right? So thank you for everyone thanking me or complimenting.
Yes, showing so much love.
Thank you so much. The theme of the festival was transportation. So obviously off the bat, when you think of transportation, you're kind of like, okay, like driving, like, bus, like walking. But throughout the fellowship, which was about 2 months, like we got really deep on this topic of transportation. So for Take Me There, the song, it's pretty much, when people first hear it, they always immediately probably think it's a love song because, you're saying like, take me there, like no matter where you go, it's pretty much saying you can go see, like, you can go anywhere you want in the world and see amazing things, but like, don't forget to take me there, right? And off first listen, people think it's a love song, totally fine. But the real meaning behind it was pretty much that no matter where we go, location-wise, no matter how many generations pass us, it's really important for us as Black people to take the culture we have and take it with us everywhere we go. So like, if you're first generation, your parents came from a different country, it's like the culture, if culture was personified and culture could speak and culture had a mouth and would say something, it would tell like our parents, like, take me there. I know you're about to go abroad to like find like better opportunity, but don't forget to take me there. So it's like I was like writing from the perspective of culture. And so yeah, it kind of just came out like that. And yeah, I'm glad you guys like it. It's one of my favorite songs I've written just because I feel like, because like just off rip, it just sounds like a beautiful love song. And I just love that people think that, like, even though I have my own meaning for it. So I absolutely love that.
That's really beautiful, and I love the way, everybody can interpret their meanings for songs. When you were singing, I was thinking like self-love, um,
Mm-hmm.
and just like, you know, because you said transportation, but I was thinking about how we're in the middle of a pandemic, so we can't really transport that much,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like building yourself in this time,
Mm-hmm.
because I know it's such an introspective time for people like that. Um, and so I wanted to know, like, has the pandemic and like what has happened, has it shifted your music in any way, or like the way you think about music or the way you perform?
I think, whew, definitely, like I feel like it's forced me to like just be so much more creative, and like it's forcing me to think outside of the box, and it's forcing me to kind of like think beyond the music I'm creating right now. Like I recorded an EP. Even though I finished the EP, I don't know if it's because of the extra time we had, but even after I finished the EP, I'm kind of like, okay, so what does the next one sound like? What do I want to say on that? Like who? Like I feel like during this time I was just constantly thinking to myself, who am I really as an artist, and how do I execute that to the best of my ability? And I feel like, during the pandemic, I got to go deep in my R&B bag. I got to revisit some great songs, my Jodeci, Faith Evans, like my Mary J's. And even though I love listening to Afrobeats music, I love listening to, the Ghanaian artists that we have in our country. Like, I love it. Like R&B, there's something about R&B music that just like, just, it just has a
Stick
special
with
place in
you,
my
yeah.
heart. It just
Yeah.
does something that it, it does something that like I feel like no other kind of music could do. So I think revisiting, I was able to revisit those kinds of songs and just really think about why I love them so much. Like, is it the lyrics? Is it the harmonies? Like, is it, was it the videos? Like, why do I like these songs so much? So I just feel like during this time, it really allowed me to grow. And like, I'm so happy that I can look back at last year and I 100% see growth. Like, I don't think last year was a waste for me.
Definitely, yeah.
I can look back and see like what I've accomplished, what I've done, and it's just been all growth. So I'm very grateful for that. And yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been like, and you start to think of like yourself and the things that it's been a very creative time, just anyways, just based on how much time people have out of
Yeah.
their days. But it's also just kind of like, who am I without like anybody else's kind of input or boxes that they put me in? And it's just kind of like without going to school every day, people having to see me every day, talk to me every day, and I'm just talking to myself, like, what do you say to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And so those kind of like like conversations that you have with yourself and inward to yourself have been really important lately. And so I think it's great that you've been able to like channel that into your music and just kind of how you think of how you're gonna grow. So like how do you see yourself growing within the next few years?
Oh, wow.
It's like a hard question, I know,
Oh
but
God, I hate these questions. Like, they're
you
so
do.
big.
Okay, we don't have to do it. Let's see, how do you see yourself next week?
I'll get back to the couple years question at the end. Just reminds me.
Okay.
Um, shoot, next week. Next week, I still have a bunch of meetings, a bunch of phone calls, Zoom meetings, with music people. Still gonna be promoting the single, but over the next few weeks, I'm gonna be preparing for some performances. So obviously, this is one of the performances that I'm thankful to be at. But I'm also gonna be getting ready to record some pre-recorded performances for some other colleges, which is gonna be really cool. So, I'm trying to take the creativity I've seen, like if you watch the different award shows, people have really been getting creative with the production of their performances since it can't be like in real time live. So I'm kind of just thinking like, okay, now that I have to, do some pre-recorded shows, like what is my set gonna look like? What is my performance gonna look like? And it's really exciting because it it's not something that I've done before, but I like being creative in other ways outside of music. And I'm realizing that I think I might have a knack for like some kind of production. So I'm gonna be getting ready for that. Um, Getting ready for like an in-person show. Actually, I'm not gonna say the college just yet because I'm not. I didn't sign the paperwork. I want to sign the paperwork. You know, be
Yeah.
professional. Let me wait
Yeah,
till
it's
the
always
ink's
good, like,
dry
yeah.
before I mention it. But yeah. So yeah, I just have a bunch of different shows coming up that I'm so excited about because I always say that, at least for me as an artist, it wasn't just singing that I liked, you know, it was performing like in front of an audience. That's what drew me to music, you know, singing live, singing in front of an audience, not just singing in a studio. And every artist is different because sometimes there are artists who are studio artists and they feel more comfortable recording the music, you know, just in the studio, and they don't love to perform. And
Mm.
me, I love to perform, so I'm so excited to get a chance to do some of that. And actually, I'm going to be traveling to Ghana in April, mid-April. So I have a couple of things to do there. So in the midst of some um, family time, I'm gonna definitely be recording some music with some producers out there and work with some artists. So that's gonna be fun.
That's really fun. So you kind of talked about production a little bit. Do you have, I'm just curious, do you have anything that like you kind of feel is like comfort to like have with you on stage, or do you have like any kind of rituals before you go on stage, anything like that?
Panic? No.
I was gonna say, have you like developed? Did you like have stage fright before? You're good now, or do you still like kind of get nervous before you go on?
Well, in terms of the ritual, no, I don't have one yet. Maybe the more I perform, I'll develop something. But I think it's just like pray and just beg God, please don't let me F up. Please, God, don't let me F up. Like, so yeah, I'll just say pray. And and then yeah, I think when I was younger, I always say like I was never really a shy girl per se, but when it came to showcasing my talent, again going back to being vulnerable, I got shy. You know, that's when I would get shy when someone
Mm,
would be like, "Okay,
okay.
sing." I'd be like, "Ah." Um, and I think I have a healthy set of nerves, so it's not necessarily like full blown panic attack. Like, oh God, like I have stage fright. I don't think I've ever had stage fright, but I do have a thing where like obviously like my heart starts racing, I start losing my breath, and I'm kind of like shit, like I'm nervous, like I'm really really nervous, like I'm really nervous. And as a singer, that's terrible because like your breath is the most important thing you need to control before you go out
Mm.
on stage. So when I do that, like I try to do breathing techniques. I try to calm down. You know, I try to have a friend there to say, you know, you're good. You know, you got this, girl. You're gonna be fine. So those little things help. But yeah, I feel like I'm always gonna be a little nervous, even for this. Like I'm just
Yeah.
on Instagram Live, like social media. I'm always on social media, but I was still kind of like, oh God, like I hope everything. I hope like the sound comes out right. I feel like I hope everything
Mm.
works properly. Like so, it's always gonna be there. I think.
Yeah, I think like especially now it's kind of you get more nervous. I've been more nervous kind of like just going outside and just like talking to a bunch of people. I'm kind of like, "Oh,
Oh
I'm not
really?
used to doing this anymore." Yeah, it's been pretty weird, but like I'll go out and then I'll be normal when I'm out,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get home and I'm like, "Hmm, they just saw my entire body and not just chest up. That's strange." But I didn't like that's not something that I thought would happen, but I was like,
Yeah,
that's weird.
that's actually
I'm
pretty
not used to
interesting.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think
Um,
it'll go away? I hope so.
I hope so. It it was a little alarming because I was like, wait, this is really weird, but I think it's just. And even, do you ever get it like in movies when you watch movies and TV shows and you're like, they're not wearing masks, and it's like a movie. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
especially if it's an
like,
old one. Like if it's like obviously like a movie
yes,
that's been come out already, and I'm looking at them, I'm like, wow, I can't believe like people were out there without their masks. Like they're warriors, like they're troopers.
yeah, it's crazy,
Someone
but
said, I think stage fright is good, shows your passion about your craft, and it's coming across well to the audience. You know, I have a friend who says that too. Like, you know, if you're nervous about something, it's good because it shows that you care. And yeah, and I believe that because I feel like for me, it's like when I'm nervous, it's like I feel like when I'm nervous, when I perform, it's like I have to really perform like my life out for the nervousness to go away. It's like I have to give my all for into the performance. That and when I do that, the nervousness for some reason goes away because I know I'm giving my best in that moment. But it's like when I'm hesitating or if I don't feel 100% comfortable, it's like I'm still nervous because maybe like I feel like I'm not as prepared as I should be or I'm not giving my best. And I remember in high school, we used to always do these, you know, what are they called? Like performance Fridays. And pretty much, you know, the class could just perform a solo song, just sing, and we wouldn't work on any class material. And I remember during those performance Fridays when I would prepare a song, like I would sing with so much. I would sing like I was on stage, and it would only be like 15 of us, you know, in the class. But I'd sing like I was on stage, so much passion. And the teacher would always say like you really embody, like you really act out the song, like you put so much of yourself in the performance. And I was never nervous in those times, like I said, because I knew I was giving my all. So yeah, I just wanted to comment on that because that's really a great point. Who is our Mel said.
Yes. Um, yeah, that's really amazing. So you definitely like performing. That's yeah, I really hope we can have you come in person to perform for us because I'd love to see a show from you.
Oh, I hope so. And the thing is, it's like even though I always say like I don't consider myself a dancer at all, but I was in a dance group in college, and I always love incorporating dance. Like I even had some performance videos that I shot last year during the coronavirus. I mean, it's still coronavirus season, but during like the quarantine, I shot
Yeah.
a few performance videos and like I really loved it because like I was incorporating like dance and movement into the music and I was like, wow, like yeah, this is how it would be on stage. So yeah, I when I come perform at an F.I.T. BSU event very
Yes.
soon, it's definitely gonna be a full-fledged show, dancers, props, and the whole
Oh,
shebang.
yeah. So I wanted to ask, since we do go to a fashion school, like what kind of types of things do you like to wear during your performances? Do you like to wear kind of flowy things like to help you dance more? You can kind of
Mm-hmm.
move around.
This is I actually love that you asked this question. No one has ever asked me this question before, but obviously being from FIT, it's on your radar. Um,
Yes.
for me, I mean, lately, I feel like in past performances, I've never thought about it too deeply. Like for the performance video I mentioned, it was like a jumpsuit with like kente fabric wrapped around my waist and like a red headscarf and some like evening gloves. I'm dropping that video sometime next week, so you guys will see. um, for other shows, it'll be like some kind of African print, some kind of African fabric, and maybe like leggings. But but for those events, it was just kind of like I just wanted to showcase a piece of culture. I wasn't thinking too heavily of like what I wanted my outfit to be per se. But now that like obviously I've graduated college and you know my music and my artistry has really started to grow, I'm very much a flowy person. I think anyone that knows me in real life knows that I love skirts. I'm a skirts person. I like long flowy skirts, maxi skirts. Like I don't love wearing jeans. I feel like I only wear jeans when I have to, which is pretty much like the fall or winter.
Yeah, a lot of people have been getting out of the jeans, skinny jeans thing lately, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I've even seen like bell bottoms making a comeback, and bell bottoms are cute, but I just like flowy skirts. So I think actually when I go to Ghana or maybe when I come back, um, I'm gonna try to find someone to help me craft my performance outfit because I'm trying to get that done for a minute now, but obviously between music and creating and just a bunch of other things happening in life, I've never got a chance to work with someone to do it. So if you guys know anyone who's a seamstress, like let me know because like I have a vision of what I want my performance outfits to look like, but I'm realizing it's not just something I can go to the store and find. It's something that I kind of have to like craft the design or craft the image and kind of work with someone to create. And fun fact, I used to want to be a fashion designer when I was young. So when I was younger in elementary school, I had like a whole book of like fashion drawings. I was a terrible drawer, but I always had a vision of like cool fashions that I would want to create. So yeah, definitely hit me up in the DMs if you know someone.
Yes, okay. I'll get back to that in a second. So Armel asked a question. She's also one of our directors of media, but she said,
Oh, nice.
would you say African print is your signature style for performances?
See, good question. I feel like lately, yes. Um, it may stay like that and may not. Stay tuned. Just because Kente, it's like restrictive. Like, oh God, the amount of times I remember being younger, just even now, like the skirts are very like, they're not something you can necessarily like dancing. It's pretty confining. The fabric is tough. I'm sure you guys have like a proper word for that, but it's not the best for movement. That's why I've been realizing that I need to figure out how I can incorporate the, a touch of that aesthetic into a performance outfit that incorporates, like I mentioned, like something flowy skirts, but has that touch of, Ghanaian culture in there. So I'm working on it, and I'm actually really excited to work with whoever you guys recommend to make it happen. Because I've been trying to like create these outfits for like at least 2 years now.
Yeah, so we have Armel mentioned it, Kia, who does our outreach. She's a textile and service design major, so that means like kind of making like the prints and things like that. So she actually, for our exhibit, one of the things that she put in was her own print, which was like this really beautiful kind of African inspired print, and it's just like Black American culture as well. And so it was really great. So I mean, we definitely have people who are able to, kind of bring your vision to life. We can definitely put a thing out for people to hit you up if they want to be involved.
Absolutely. It can be like a F.I.T. BSU and Agyakomah collaboration.
Yes, yes. No, I know people would love to do that. So everyone loves supporting local people. So we'll definitely, I'll talk to you more about that after.
For sure, for sure. Thank you guys. Thank you,
Yeah, of
Carmel.
course. Um, so yeah, I think you have one more song to perform. I'm gonna ask if anybody else. Oh yes, and Ashley, who is our VP, is fashion design. She's in fashion design.
Yes, yes. Send me DMs of recommendations. Yeah, I will go ahead. Yeah, I'll perform my latest single, Who Is She? And Who Is She?
Yeah.
Yes, Who Is She? Love that song. Who Is She? I made a post about it on Instagram recently. Who Is She is pretty much about, all the sexy ladies out there in the world who who don't feel the need to do too much for attention. I always say that sometimes in the social media era we're in, like people feel the need, and girls and guys alike feel the need to, be the loudest or do crazy things to be the most known or just have the spotlight on them. But like if you are a Who Is She girl, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all that because you can walk into a room and like your vibe, like your essence is like it speaks for itself. And I just think that's so dope. I think that's so beautiful. And I think, there's a lot of people out there who aren't like the most extroverted or they aren't, maybe they're not comfortable showing the most skin, but like they're a Who Is She girl because like they're comfortable with themselves, and they appreciate who they are and they have an essence about them. And people are just gonna be asking, who is she? Like, who is that girl? So I'm gonna plug myself up.
I love that.
Come again?
I love that. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. Okay.
Like what kind of girl? Okay.
Yes.
I'll let you get that up. But yeah, that's amazing. I never had a name for that, but that's yeah.
Resonate with it, people.
Yeah. I'm definitely thinking about it.
Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Beautiful. Can you hear? Perfect. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh. I'm not gonna be someone you have ever seen. I'm gonna do things that'll knock you off your feet. You won't find a single similarity. Soon you will see. Yeah, from me, yeah, from me, Agyakomah, sister F.I.T, queen that you know, Friday won't, so you know how I roll. It's the sway of the hips, confident hips, sexy, sassy, cool, collected. They are pointing at me and asking around, asking who is she, like who is she? You won't see me screaming, saying, look at me. In a sea of people, I shine so effortlessly. I move through crowds like dancers moving on their feet so swiftly. My vibe is different and they really want to know. My light is shining so they want to see you show. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the flight, relax your mind. Who is she? I really wanna know. What's her name? First, last, middle. Where is she from? I don't even know, but she got that spark, that je ne sais quoi. Impeccable, unexplainable, unattainable, vibrational, undeniable, not debatable, delectable, non-negotiable. She incredible, yeah, she incredible. Yes, her name. Yes, oh, Agyakomah. So you know how I roll with the sway of the hips, confident lips, sexy, sassy, cool, collected. They are pointing at me and asking around, asking who is she, like who is she? F.I.T, thank you so much for having me tonight. They are pointing at me and asking around, asking who is she, like who is she? And that is Who Is She. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me unplug my mic. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
That was amazing. I was kind of like at a loss of words when you explained it because I was like, that's so beautiful. And I always kind of love that girl who you like, wow, like who is she? Like she just walks in able to command the room. That's definitely something that
Yes.
I aspire to be and kind of have that kind of aura to you.
Yes.
So I love that you've like commanded that already. Like that's amazing.
Yeah. It's funny because I was originally, like when I was planning the release and stuff, I was going to do it around like a Valentine's Day. But then I realized maybe Who Is She and then Valentine's Day don't mix because it's kind of like, who is she? Like, I don't know. I think people might have thought something else. Like, but
Mhm.
I'm so glad I released it when I did because I think the more people listen to it, it's kind of like they understand the idea of, again, like the who is she girl, you know. And I think, again, social media time period, I think we kind of like only, you know, respond to a certain kind of person. And
Mm.
like you said, someone who might be a bit understated but still commands the room. I don't know, something about that. I just love that. I just
I love that too.
I love that. Like I'm gonna say I'm a who is she girl. I'm a who is she girl. You're a who is she girl.
Own it, own it.
Absolutely. But yeah, thank you for the compliments, people, sexy people in the chats.
Yes, thank you. So I think I'm gonna ask in the chat if anybody still wants to share anything. If anybody has anything that we want to join. Oh, Carly asked, what platforms can we listen to your music on?
Definitely, they are on all streaming platforms.
Mm.
But if you want to listen to like some like, there's like 2 songs that aren't on streaming platforms that are on SoundCloud that you can listen to. One of them is called Left My Mark on You. It's the first song I ever released. It's not the first song I ever recorded because I recorded so much like when I like was like 19 and 20, but it was the first song I officially released. So if you want to listen to like some old stuff, there's a couple of songs on SoundCloud, but for the most part, everything else is on all streaming platforms.
Yay, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you one last question.
Yeah.
Just and I think we'll wrap it up a little early, but
Mm-hmm.
just like your writing process, when you go into a song, like, do you have anything in mind? Like, do you expect an end product?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it'll be kind of like a vibes day, right? So it's kind of like whatever I'm feeling, I'm just gonna write. I'm not gonna think too much about it. I'm not gonna think about like creating like the greatest song. I'm just gonna kind of just write how I feel. But I think also I'm very, very much so like a planning kind of person, like um, a thoughtful person. So sometimes I might think I'm doing like overkill on the lyrics because I'm very much thinking like, okay, the storyline is this. So like the lyrics have to flow like that. So my writing process usually consists of free writing, opening up a Google Docs. I used to really just do handwriting. Like I couldn't write a song like typing it out. I had to write. I would handwrite like pages of just thoughts. But it will start with some free writing, and then maybe like a day or two later, or whenever I get the chance, I'll go back and look through my free writing and I'll highlight or underline lines that I felt like, ooh, girl, that was a dope one. Like you got it. So I'll go through that, highlight things that I think are dope, and then I'll pull them out and, either make a new document or in that same document, kind of create a section for like lyrics that I thought were really dope. And then I'll start working with those lyrics and then kind of seeing what's what stands out to me as something that could be in the hook. But I feel like once I have the lyrics I feel like are really dope and cool, that's when like I really let the music inspire me or whatever track I'm listening to inspire me. And I'm kind of like, okay, so I kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. Let me listen to the music and see like where the melodies take me. And then from there on, the music kind of guides me in how the song should be structured. But I used to be, I used to, actually, I still do. I have like my recording equipment. I was even in my Amazon orders history just yesterday, and like I was like so sentimental because I was like, wow, like I brought this equipment like my second year of college, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing with it, but like I just knew I was watching YouTube videos and it said to buy this microphone and that stand and to get this and that, and I just got it all to hopefully figure out how I could record myself. So nowadays my recording process is even like to do the demo at home because I I don't know how some artists do it. Some artists go to the studio and like, you pay for studio time. Like they'll just go to the studio and just create, like spend that studio time like figuring out creating the song. But me, I'm kind of like I like to get my demo out, a rough idea of what the song is, and then I can take it to the studio and just record it professionally and make sure everything is good and make sure like the mix sounds, well. So I'm trying to take more ownership and like educate myself more on different facets of my artistry, not just like the singing, obviously the songwriting, but also like the technical stuff, like setting up a live stream, setting up, the equipment needed so I can perform in this manner. So yeah, I'm trying to take it upon myself to educate myself more.
Yeah, that's definitely important to, educate and study yourself on like people who came before you and just like proper techniques of things. Because even if you don't kind of do that or kind of like subscribe to that, you can still use that to inform the way you create.
Yeah, I always say like you don't have to be an expert on everything, but like just educate yourself a little bit on like your whatever you're doing, like other facets of your work outside of what you do, just so like if something's wrong, you'll know when to ask. You may not know why something doesn't sound right, but you can tell the engineer, okay, I think this sounds wrong. Or, I just feel like it's important. It's something I've learned myself is that like, I'm terrible at technology. I really am. Like I feel like I'm an old lady, but I've been really forcing myself to, watch more YouTube videos and understand, like, live streaming, and understand just the technical stuff like mixing and mastering. And even though I'm probably never going to be a pro at it, at least I have the basic knowledge so I can communicate with the engineer properly. Or like when I work with, hopefully the fashion designer from F.I.T, I don't know much about fashion, but hopefully by the time I meet with her, I'll have a general idea of how to share my thoughts with her so she understands. So yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say going to a fashion school, I wasn't necessarily super into fashion, like for myself anyways, but you just kind of learn so much just from other people, just kind of hearing the way they talk and the way they think. You
Yeah.
just sort of pick up on stuff, and so it kind of, yeah, translates into your life eventually. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna ask one more time if
Mhm.
anybody else would like to join to share anything. And if not, I want to say thank you all for coming so much. Thank you to our special guest, Agyakomah, for coming.
Thank
We really
you.
appreciate you, and we look forward to having you come in the future. And we'll definitely kind of reach out to our
Yeah.
designers and see if we can get anybody to collaborate with you on some performance pieces.
Absolutely. I'm actually so excited for that. So yes, please hurry and get back to me. And yeah, and if you don't already, please follow me. I'm most active on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram. Um, don't be afraid to DM me if you want to chit chat. Like I always say, like I'm so interested in chatting with the people who are listening to my music. So please don't be afraid to let me know your thoughts about the song, or you know any of the content that I released. Um, I released a lyric video for the song. It's like an animation that's super cute. So head to my YouTube channel, subscribe there, and yeah. And if you go to my Instagram bio and hit up the link, you can sign up for my newsletter as well. So yeah, just definitely tap in with me on all fronts, and stay tuned for the Who Is She official music video. It should be out end of the month maybe. So it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, so everybody be sure to support her. We love to support Black artists. So thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna end the
Thank
live
you.
now.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
again.
guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good
Have
night.
a good night.